There is one muscle in your body that your doctor has never told you about. One muscle that modern science now links directly to your anxiety, your chronic fear, your inability to sleep, and the feeling that something inside you has been clenched tight for years. It is not your heart. It is not your brain. It is a thick, powerful rope of tissue buried so deep inside your core that most people live and die without ever consciously feeling it. And right now, at this very moment, it is either the source of your power or the cage that is keeping you trapped. That muscle is called the Psoas, and the ancient Zen masters called it the seat of the soul. You have been told your emotions live in your mind. You have been sold antidepressants, breathing apps, meditation retreats, and therapy sessions. And maybe some of them helped a little. But nobody ever pointed you to the real archive. Nobody told you that your body has been storing every shock, every trauma, every moment of terror and grief, not in your thoughts, but in a single, fist-thick muscle that runs from the bottom of your spine all the way down into the top of your thigh bone. Until you release that muscle, you will keep recycling the same emotional loops no matter how much work you do on your mind. Today, we are going to change that. Today, we are going to decode the Psoas through the lens of Zen biology. We are going to look at what happens inside that muscle when it is chronically contracted. Why the ancient masters from Shaolin to the Taoist mountain hermits built their entire internal practice around freeing this structure. And I am going to walk you through a precise, step-by-step release method that can begin to undo years of accumulated tension in a single session. Because the Psoas does not forget, but it also does not lie. When you give it the right signal, it responds immediately. Oh, before we go deeper, I need you to do something right now. Go to the comments. Type these 3 words. I release fear. Do it now. Not because it is a ritual, because it is a neurological declaration. When you write those words while your nervous system is primed and listening, you are planting a seed into the soil of your subconscious. I release fear. Let it echo. Let us begin where the story actually starts. Not in China, not in a monastery, but inside your own evolutionary history. You are a mammal, and like every mammal that has ever existed on this planet, you carry inside your nervous system a survival program so ancient it predates language, predates civilization, predates every religion ever written. It is called the threat response. When your ancestors were chased by predators on the open plains, their bodies did something brilliant. The moment danger was detected, the brain flooded the system with stress hormones, and one muscle above all others fired with explosive urgency, the Psoas. It contracted to either fold the body into a defensive ball or to drive the legs into a sprint. Fight, flight, freeze. Every single one of those responses runs through the Psoas. Here is the problem. Evolution did not anticipate the modern world. Your nervous system cannot tell the difference between a predator on the savannah and a hostile email from your boss. It cannot distinguish between a physical threat and a toxic relationship or a financial crisis. Every time your stress response fires, the Psoas contracts. Every time it contracts and the threat never fully resolves, because in modern life, threats almost never fully resolve. The muscle does not fully release. It holds. It shortens. It calcifies around the fear like concrete setting around a wire. And so the average adult today is walking around with a psoas that has been semi-contracted for years, sometimes decades. In Chinese medicine, this is what they call qi stagnation, at the root of the body. In Zen terms, this is the body trying to protect a wound that was never allowed to heal. In plain Western biology, this is a muscle in a state of chronic low-level hyperactivation that is compressing your lumbar spine, tilting your pelvis forward, restricting blood flow to your internal organs, and keeping your autonomic nervous system locked in a permanent low-grade state of emergency. This is why you cannot fully relax even when you want to. This is why you wake up at 3 in the morning with your mind racing, even though nothing happened. This is why you sometimes feel an inexplicable tightness in your gut or a heaviness in your hips that no amount of stretching seems to permanently fix. The psoas is not tight because you sit too much. It is tight because it is carrying something you have not yet given your body permission to put down. The Zen masters understood this centuries before neuroscience gave it a name. In Zen practice, the body-mind unity is not metaphorical, it is literal. The body does not house the mind. The body is the mind. Every thought you have ever had has a corresponding physical state. Every emotion you have ever suppressed has found a home in tissue. The psoas was always the central address for unresolved fear, because fear is the most primal emotion, and the psoas is the most primal muscle. When Zen monks spoke of sitting with the hara, the energetic center located in the lower abdomen, they were speaking in part about learning to breathe into and release the grip of the psoas. When Taoist masters spoke of the dantian as the furnace of life energy, the geographical center of that furnace sits directly adjacent to where the psoas attaches to the lumbar vertebrae. This is not coincidence. These traditions mapped the human body with thousands of years of direct, rigorous internal observation. They knew exactly where the deepest holding lived. Now let us talk about what the science says, because in the last 30 years, Western research has started to catch up in ways that should stop you cold. There is a pioneering researcher named Liz Koch who spent decades studying nothing but the psoas. Her conclusion: the psoas is the physical messenger of the central nervous system. It is the only muscle in the entire human body that connects the spine to the legs, and it has a direct anatomical relationship with the diaphragm through a sheet of connective tissue called the crural arch. This means every breath you take is physically linked to your psoas. When the psoas is chronically contracted, your breathing becomes shallow and high in the chest. Shallow breathing means less oxygen. Less oxygen means more cortisol, more stress hormones, more activation of the threat response. The contracted psoas creates shallow breathing, which creates more stress, which contracts the psoas further. A biological trap with no exit until you learn how to interrupt it from the inside. But here is what is even more staggering. There is a researcher named Peter Levine. I'm the founder of a trauma therapy approach called somatic experiencing, who discovered something that will reframe everything you think you know about trauma. Animals in the wild, after surviving a life-threatening encounter, do something that human beings almost never allow themselves to do. They shake, violently, for several minutes. That shaking is the nervous system completing its threat cycle. It is the body discharging the accumulated survival energy that was mobilized for fighting or fleeing. When the discharge is complete, the animal goes back to grazing as if nothing happened. There is no post-traumatic stress disorder in animals in the wild. Why? Because they complete the cycle. Human beings do not complete the cycle. We suppress the shake, we suppress the cry, we power through. And that undischarged survival energy gets locked into the tissues. The primary lockbox, the psoas. The body already knows how to heal. It has known all along. We just keep interrupting it. Now let us go deeper into Zen. When Zen monks spoke of sitting with the hara, the energetic center located in the lower abdomen, they were speaking, in part, about learning to breathe into and release the grip of the psoas. When Taoist masters spoke of the dantian as the furnace of life energy, the geographical center of that furnace sits directly adjacent to where the psoas attaches to the lumbar vertebrae. This is not coincidence. These traditions mapped the human body with thousands of years of direct, rigorous, internal observation. They knew exactly where the deepest holding lived. This is what we are working toward. Now I am going to teach you the release, but understand something first, because this is where most people make the critical mistake. The psoas cannot be forced open. You cannot stretch it aggressively. You cannot foam roll it into submission. The moment you use force, the muscle detects the threat and contracts harder. The psoas is not a muscle that responds to power. It is a muscle that responds to safety. This is the biological paradox that the ancient masters understood intuitively. To open the deepest holding, you must offer the body an environment of such complete non-threat that the nervous system finally permits the release. This is why the Zen approach, stillness, breath, radical non-doing, is not the soft option. It is the most sophisticated and technically demanding approach that exists. Let us begin. Find a place where you can lie flat on your back. A firm surface is best. A yoga mat on the floor, a firm mattress, not a soft couch. You need the earth beneath you. I place your feet flat on the floor, with your knees bent up toward the ceiling. Let your arms rest at your sides, palms facing upward. This position is called constructive rest, and it is one of the most powerful positions you can place your body in, because it is the only position in which the psoas is completely unloaded. It is not being asked to hold you up. It is not being asked to move you. For perhaps the first time in hours or days, it has nothing to do but exist. Nay, do not try to do anything yet. Just arrive. Close your eyes and turn your attention inward. Take 3 slow breaths. Do not guide the breath into your belly forcefully. Simply remove the effort from your chest and let the breath find its own level. Watch it. Does it drop into your lower abdomen on the inhale? If it does not, that is information. That is your psoas telling you how tightly it is holding. Do not judge it, just observe it. You now let your feet slide along the floor until your legs are fully extended. Your lower back may arch up from the ground. It may feel uncomfortable in your hip flexors or the front of your lumbar spine. That sensation is the psoas under passive tension. You are not pulling it. You are simply allowing it to reveal its current length. Stay here. Breathe. With each exhale, allow your lower back to get a fraction of a millimeter heavier. Not a stretch, a surrender. Non-doing, non-forcing, our action through release. The masters spoke of this as water wearing down stone, not through violence, but through patient, consistent presence. After several minutes in this position, very slowly bend your right knee and draw your right foot back toward your pelvis until the sole is flat on the floor again. Leave your left leg extended. Feel the shift. Your right psoas has just partially unloaded, and your left psoas has deepened into a gentle one-sided stretch. When breathe into the left side of your lower back, imagine a warm glow beginning there, like an ember being slowly brought back to life. Hold for 2 full minutes. Then switch sides. Now bring both feet back to the floor, knees bent. Rest here. And now we add the element that separates this practice from a simple stretch. We add the tremor. Lift your feet 1 inch off the floor, keeping your knees bent so your lower legs are hovering. You will immediately feel your legs begin to tremble. Now, this is not weakness. This is the neuromuscular system activating and beginning to oscillate. Let it. Do not try to control it or smooth it out. The tremor is the discharge mechanism. It is the biological completion of the survival cycle. Let your legs shake. Let the vibration travel up through your hips and into your lower back. Stay with it. Breathe slowly and steadily through it. After 30 seconds, lower your feet back to the floor and place your palms on your lower abdomen, yet just below your navel. Feel the heat. Feel the pulse. That warmth is fresh blood returning to tissue that has been deprived of full circulation. The sponge effect in the psoas. You compressed it, you released it, and now oxygenated blood is flooding back into the deepest tissues of your core. This is the moment the Zen masters called integration. The body is rewriting its baseline. The nervous system is updating its threat map. For the first time in however long, it is learning that it is safe to be here, safe to be in this body, safe to let go. Lie there for 5 minutes without moving. Let every part of your body drop into the floor. Feel your lumbar spine making contact with the earth in a way that it perhaps has not in a very long time. Feel your hips heavy, open, released. Feel the space in your lower back. This is not the absence of something. This is the presence of freedom. This is what the masters called returning to the original body. The body before the armor. The body you were born with. Now you understand why the psoas is called the soul muscle. Because what lives in it is not just tension. What lives in it is your history. Every time you were not safe, every time you could not run, every time you had to be strong when you wanted to break, it is all archived there in those deep fibers. And releasing it is not just physical therapy. It is an act of profound self-reclamation. It is you saying to every part of your history, I see you. I honor what you protected me from, and I no longer need you to hold it. This is the Zen path, not the destruction of the past, but the conscious release of what it cost you to survive it. Practice this release every single day. Morning is best, before the demands of the day have reclenched the psoas back into readiness. Give it 15 minutes of radical non-doing. Over weeks, you will notice things shifting that you cannot fully explain. Your breathing will become fuller. Your sleep will deepen. The background hum of anxiety that you thought was just your personality will begin to quiet. Your posture will change. Your gait will change. People around you will notice something different about the way you carry yourself before you can even name what it is. Because the psoas does not hold its secrets lightly. But when it finally lets go, it lets go of everything. You remember your decree for today. I release fear. You did not just learn about a muscle today. You touched the deepest layer of what it means to live in a human body. The Psoas holds your history, your fear, your battles that were never finished. And now, you hold the key. What the ancient masters spent lifetimes discovering, you are beginning to feel right now, in this moment. The body is always listening. It has always been waiting for you to give it permission. The release you felt today is only the beginning of what lives on the other side of that holding. This is where the real transformation starts. If this reached something inside you that you have never felt in a gym, never found in a supplement, never discovered in a wellness trend, then this channel is exactly where you need to be. We decode ancient wisdom through the lens of modern biology, one practice at a time. Hit subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss a transmission. And leave your decree in the comments right now. I release fear. Build this community with us. The second scroll is already waiting.